If you're in desperate need and don't know how to take effective and aesthetic AP history notes, then welcome to this video. Hey everyone, before we start this video, I would like to say this video is kindly sponsored by PDF Element. I know that as a student, teachers are always sending links to PDF documents where we're somehow expected to annotate and take notes on them. PDF Element is an all-in-one PDF platform that allows for a smooth and efficient way to create, edit, convert, and sign PDF documents on Windows and Mac. So let me give you guys a quick tutorial on how this platform works. To edit or mark up your PDF, all you have to do is click on text or markup to easily and efficiently manipulate your PDF. I know that sometimes teachers can give you PDFs where they literally just scan the reading, making it so hard to use. But PDF Element actually has this feature called the OCR tool where you can easily convert it into a PDF and use that Command F tool we all so desperately love to use. You can also convert your PDF into different file forms like Word, PowerPoint, Pages, and even an image. I also love how there's a digital signature feature so that I can easily sign my school's honor code or anything else I may need to sign. If you are by any chance interested in this product and its features, then I have actually linked a couple of free downloads in the description box below. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will be showing you guys how to take aesthetic and effective AP history notes. So number one is to get rid of the idea that you need nice supplies to take nice notes. I'm not going to say that nice supplies won't get you nice notes, but I also want to start promoting the idea that minimal supplies can also get you neat notes. So when I'm taking notes, I only use 3 main supplies, one of those being a black pen. I use a Pilot G2 0.38mm black pen. I think this works really well for me. I also use my favorite correction tape, and finally I use highlighters, specifically these zebra mildliner highlighters, to not only highlight the important information but also add that kind of aesthetic touch to it. Before I even get into how I actually take notes, I really want to emphasize this idea that taking long and detailed notes isn't worth your time. So this is an idea that took me so long to understand, but I used to be the type of kid that took 5 to 8 pages of notes for a single chapter when I really only needed 1 or 2. I thought that I needed to take notes of literally every single detail that was mentioned in a textbook or a lecture, and a lot of that stemmed from the idea that I always felt like I had less prior knowledge about history than my peers did. And I'll get into this idea further as we get into the video, but AP history classes really revolve around the idea of you knowing the major concepts and the general things that happened. So instead of trying to memorize exactly when a particular event happened, I think it's better you invest your time in actually comprehending the material and understanding it and practicing active recall. Okay, so now let's get into how I actually take my history notes. So the system that works best for me are bullet points. So the way I structure my notes through the bullet point system is I have some sort of a heading, and then below the heading I always add some important information, and then for the important information I always give a bunch of different examples. One of the major things you need to understand for AP history classes is the whole class revolves around the idea of you knowing specific patterns and trends that happened during a certain time period. From there, you want to show specific examples proving that a certain pattern or trend occurred. So this kind of stems off of the idea that it's so much better to invest your time actually comprehending the information and comprehending it to a point where you can identify any major trends or patterns that happen during a time period. So I think me kind of explaining or showing this idea can be best understood by showing examples from my own notes. So these are a set of notes that I wrote just a couple of days ago for APUSH. So this particular lecture was set right before when the American Revolution happened. So knowing just that bit of information, I kind of figured that the major trend or pattern that would be seen in this lecture is basically a major cause of the American Revolution. And I was exactly right. This lecture was talking mainly about causes and why the American Revolution occurred. So one of the major causes of the American Revolution that I identified was this whole idea that the French and Indian War had just ended and the British was left with a lot of debt that they needed to pay. So in order to gain revenue for their own colony, they began taxing the American colonists. And this definitely angered the Americans because all the taxes that they were paying to the British was going to the British colony, not even the US. Having that as my major trend or pattern, I was able to identify different pieces of examples. For example, I can list different taxes that were being imposed on the American colonists. So for example, the Stamp Act or the Quartering Act or the Sugar Act, the Tea Act, all those are really good examples of the British taxing the colonists. And in terms of evidence to prove that the American colonists got really angered by the British imposing all these taxes, I can name the Boston Massacre or the Boston Tea Party. Those are both really good examples of how the American colonists got really, really mad at the British. So hopefully that little segment helped clear things up about identifying major trends and patterns. Anyways, the last thing that I wanted to talk about was highlighting the most important information. So in terms of highlighting, I really only highlight any pieces of evidence that support any trend that I identified. So in my case, the terms that I would highlight are any examples of taxes that were being imposed by the British, or any rebellions or massacres that occurred as a result of the imposing of taxes. Anyways guys, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed and I will see you guys later. Bye!